deltas if I feel a little uncomfortable about one of the sides. I might just take off one side, the side I don't feel comfortable about. I might take off both sides. If the market was down during the pre-market when I was looking at the futures, and then next when the market opened, it went up, then I'm going to take my profit soon. I'm not going to try to get 70%. I'm not going to try to get 60%. And, if it's at 50% at that point, I'm going to ring the register. If at 40% at that point, I'm going to ring the register. Because yeah, you have that overnight risk, but it's an overnight that, when someone says overnight risk, it sounds spooky, right? It's I like to joke around. You ever see when you ever watched um, the Lion King, and they were joking around about Mufasa, right? And they just, oh, Mufasa, right? It's a strong name, right? And it kind of brings respect when you hear Mufasa, and and the overnight risk kind of terminology, it brings fear to people. Ooh, overnight risk. And yes, the one DTE trade has the most overnight risk, without a doubt. With any other trade, it expires the next day. Something can happen that causes a problem. But most of the time, and before I give this disclaimer, or before I say this, let me get this disclaimer. Eventually, we're going to wake up the next day, and one of our one DT trades is going to be in the money. That's going to happen. I don't know when. It's never happened to us before, but I know I'm not fooled by randomness. I'm not fooled by probabilities. I know it's going to happen eventually. Right? So, and you guys have heard me say that several times. But most of the time, if something's going on today, right, volatility is going to be reflecting that. If it's some nervousness in the market or something crazy went on today, the volatility is going to have that factored in. And so that one DT trade is going to allow you to be super far away. So 2 standard deviations away. So that night move is going to have to be significant for you to wake up the next morning and be in the money. So the odds, the probabilities are on your side in a really significant way. So don't let that overnight risk terminology scare you. Don't let it scare you. Now, you also have over weekend risk when you're doing a 3DT trade. And we experience what can happen on the weekend, right? You can have wars break out on the weekend. Russia and Ukraine, that started on the weekend. We just had 2 weeks ago, Israel and Gaza. That started on the weekend. You can have some type of terrorist attack. All of those, but you can have that on any day, right? But on the weekend, the markets are closed, and it can feel pretty scary. Right? But the market is factoring in a lot of that stuff with the premium that they're giving you. Doesn't mean it's factoring in perfectly, but it's factoring in a lot of it. So keep that in mind. If I had to pick a day to play this 1DT type of short-term trade, and this is basically a 1DT because the market is not open on, this SPX is not open on Saturday and Sundays, I would pick Friday. Friday's been a really, really good day to do these trades for me, because you get decent premium, you can get further away, and it's usually no economic news coming out on Mondays before the market opens. Just like this coming Monday, it's no economic news I have to worry about. Doesn't mean the market is not going to go up big or go down big, but it's no economic news I have to worry about. So that gives me a little bit more clear skies. So with the 1DT trade, I like to get my conviction by looking at a few different factors to determine where I'm going to put the trade. So one of the factors is the VIX rule of 16. And this only works for 0DT trades and 1DT trades. I'm going to take that VIX, and I just say it's 20 right now, because right now it's 1992. And so if we take it and we say 20 and you divide it by 16, that's going to be a 1.2% move the VIX is saying, plus or minus, right? No one knows if it's going to go up or down. So plus or minus 1.25% move. That's what the VIX is telling us. So keep that number in mind. Then what I like to do is look at the straddle. And I base the trade, because a lot of times we're doing this 1DT trade all the time now, we're doing it in this TastyTrade account. You do the 7DT trade in Thinkorswim, the 1DT trade here in TastyTrade. And so most of the time, the straddle price expected move is greater than what the TastyTrade platform is saying. TastyTrade believes their platform formula for the expected move is better. It's closer to what is the 68% one standard deviation move. Okay, but I like to go with the bigger number. So in this case, if we rounded that up, let's just say it's 88 points, 89 if you want to get even more conservative about it. So I take this number, I times it by 2, I round it up and take it and times it by 2, and then I add it and subtract it from this number. So let's just say 89 points. 89 points. That's 2 times the expected move. So I take that 41, 44 plus 89. That's going to take me to the 42.33. So you don't have a 43.33. I mean a 42.33. So you can choose the 42.30 to 42.35. In this case, I'm going to choose the 42.35, and I'm going to do a 20-point wide spread, because when we do the 1 DTE type of trade for us, we do 20-point wide, allocating 5K to it. If we do the 7 DTE trade, we allocate 5K to each contract, and we start off with 10 points wide, so only $1,000. But since this is a 1 DTE trade, we're giving a little more umph to it and doing a 20-point wide spread. So if I took that 41, 44, and I subtracted 89 from it, that would take me to the 40.55 on the put side. So the 40.55 is going to be a 6 delta, and we do have a 40.55, so then I'm going to do a 20-point wide. That's going to be this. So if I was doing this trade right now, I would collect 130 before fees and commissions, and that would be nice, right? That would be nice. I just put it at 130 there. And then if I wanted to check, okay, how far am I away percentage-wise from this put side? So I take the 40.55, that's this short leg, short strike, minus the last price divided by the last price. So I'm going to minus the 41.44. Excuse me, do that again. 40.55 minus the 41.44 divided by the 41.44, and that gives me 2.1%. The put side is 2.1% away. The call side is basically the same, okay? Because we went 89 points away. So 2.1% away. The VIX was saying 1.25%. So if we were going to do this trade, we're outside by like 75, 76 basis points outside of the VIX 1-day expected move. So this trade is telling me, it's giving me conviction, everyone. It's giving me conviction that I like this trade. This trade is going to most likely work out. I have the probabilities on my side. I have the odds on my side. And if I wanted to make it greater, I can decide, okay, this put side is a 7 delta. This call side is a 4 delta. If I wanted to make it greater, maybe I can move the put side to a 6 delta. I'm going to collect less, but I'm still getting over $100. In this example, 120. So I can decide to maneuver the sides and skew it one direction to the other, right? Maybe I'm more bullish, so I'm skewing it with bullish deltas. Maybe I'm more bearish, so I'm skewing it with bearish deltas. You decide at that point. Then once I get the trade filled, right? Once I get the trade filled, then I'm immediately putting in an alert. I'm going over here on the TastyTrade platform, and I'm putting in an alert. And you can do it on the Thinkorswim if you're doing it this way. The way I do it, and you can do it the way you think is best, but I'm telling you what's been working for us and working in a significant way, day after day after day, week after week after week. This has been working for us. So we got the 40.50. I usually put the alert at 20 points away. That's usually, you're going to be in a red zone usually, unless it falls really, really fast. You're going to be in a deep red zone, but usually you're going to be just fine if you give your alert at 20 points away. So this is the case. I put an alert 20 points away on the put side, and then on the call side, I do the same thing. I go over here and I put an alert to let me know that when it's 20 points away, so I'll get an alert when it's greater than 42.15. And at that point, I'm relaxed, I'm cool. The next morning, this is happening fast. So we put the trade on 5 minutes later or so, 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, the market is closed. It's done. Right? It's not like if we put it on right now, we still got several hours before the market is closed. But what we do is we have at tops 15 minutes left, and then the market is done for that day. And then the next morning we come in, we're going to know by the futures. You're looking at these futures and you're going to say, okay, the futures are flat. You know you're going to have a win when you first get in, when the market opens, right? You're going to win. The futures is up, and you had a trade that was leaning bullish, you're going to most likely be up. If the futures are down, you have a trade leaning bearish, you're going to most likely be, up. If the market didn't make a huge move, you're going to most likely be up regardless with this type of iron condors we put up, right? So all these different scenarios how you can be up. Obviously, if you have a huge move down and volatility spiked up, you're not going to be up. Doesn't mean you're going to be in the money or anything like that. It doesn't even mean your alert is going to be hit, but you're not going to be up. And same to the upside. Okay? Same to the upside. So once you put the trade on, you put your alert, and then the next day I'm just managing it. I'm trying to get out of the trade within 30 minutes of the next day, right? So how does that work? Well, if I have a 50% profit right away, I might just take that. If I feel a little uncomfortable about one of the sides, I might just take off one side, the side I don't feel comfortable about. I might take off both sides. If the market was down during the pre-market when I was looking at the futures, and then next when the market opened, it went up. then I'm going to take my profit soon. I'm not going to try to get 70%. I'm not going to try to get 60%. If it's at 50% at that point, I'm going to ring the register. If at 40% at that point, I'm going to ring the register, because the market was down most of the pre-market or the overnight session. It could go back that way, and I don't want to have to deal with the trade for a long period of time. So I'm going to take my profits and move on. You're going to get a feel for this, and you're going to, it starts adding up. It starts adding up. The little wins start adding up. Right? And then you're gonna have days like today where you put something on and you wake up and you don't do nothing and you get the 70% profit. I'm only trying to get 50 to 70% profit with these trades, not trying to get 100%. And if I have to get less than 50%, I will take that in a heartbeat. Okay? And I'm saying less, but not a loss. Take that in a heartbeat. And obviously, if we're gonna lose, and we're gonna lose again on this, we just want that loss to be small. Managing those losses correctly. The 5K allocation allows you to do that. So, for example, if we put 5K in this trade, we start off using 2K of the 5K. So that means we have 3K left. We can add another contract to both sides and to be able to adjust if we wanted to. We can increase the width of both sides if we wanted to be able to help the situation. We can roll out and then add another contract if we needed to be able to reposition the trade the next day. Right? It's a number of different ways, and we've been talking about that, and we'll continue to talk about how you can adjust these and adjust it at a super high level that the market is going to really have to do something awesome to beat you, especially on those 7DT trades. The market is going to have to just be brutal for us to lose on those 7DT trades, and eventually it's going to happen. Eventually it's going to happen, but to this point it's not. And the one we have on right now in that Thinkorswim account, I'm super confident, at least right now, super confident we're going to win on that trade. And because even if we wake up in the money on Monday, we're going to be able to adjust that in a big way, take it back to the green zone, because we have the ammunition to do it, because we've been allocating 5K to each contract.